It all begins with a spark. Political tensions that have been rising for years suddenly ignite. NATO expands its reach by welcoming new members, including Georgia and Bosnia. In response, Russia feels cornered. Despite months of warnings, the Kremlin finally makes its move. Troops surge across the borders of the Baltic states. Suddenly, the world finds itself on the brink of the unimaginable, a full-scale war between NATO and Russia. At first, it's conventional warfare. Tanks roll, jets scream through the skies, and soldiers clash in Poland and Eastern Europe. But within weeks, the Russian offensive stalls. NATO forces push back, fueled by American reinforcements arriving by air and sea. Russian losses mount. Their gamble has failed. And that's when everything changes. In a desperate move to halt the tide, Russia launches a single nuclear warhead at Berlin. A bold, calculated risk. They hope NATO will hesitate, afraid to escalate. But instead, this action ignites the fuse to global catastrophe. Within moments of the launch, US satellites detect the plume of a Russian ICBM. The president is woken up. Red alerts flash across NATO command centers. In the skies, American B-52 bombers, already armed and on standby, receive coded orders. In silos across the Midwest, missile crews prepare for a possible launch. Submarines beneath the Arctic Ocean silently await instructions. Then it happens. The Russian warhead detonates over Berlin. In retaliation, the US responds. One Ohio-class submarine receives the launch code. It breaks through the Arctic ice and fires a Trident missile, delivering 8 massive warheads directly into Russian territory. The message is clear. The US will defend its allies. The situation spirals further. The UK responds with its own nuclear strike, targeting key Russian cities. NATO unity holds firm. But inside the Kremlin, panic erupts. Military leaders stage a coup, ousting the president. The new leadership authorizes tactical nuclear strikes on NATO troops in Poland and Germany. Small-yield warheads devastate American and Allied forces. Tens of thousands are killed instantly. Now cornered, the US president must act. With limited low-yield nukes, a proportional response is impossible. Instead, full-scale retaliation begins. From missile silos in North Dakota and Wyoming, Minuteman III missiles launch. They streak into the sky, splitting into multiple warheads aimed at Russian missile fields and military bases. At sea, US submarines surface and fire. In the air, stealth bombers roar toward their targets. Meanwhile, Russian missiles take flight. The world plunges into nuclear hell. Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, major US cities are targeted. Air bases, naval stations, command centers, none are spared. America responds in kind. Moscow, St. Petersburg, Vladivostok, each is obliterated in seconds. Entire military units vanish in fiery clouds of destruction. In just 1 hour, hundreds of millions are dead or dying. But the horror doesn't stop with explosions. Massive radioactive fallout spreads on high-altitude winds. Across continents, cities untouched by firestorms begin suffering from radiation poisoning. Crops wither. Water supplies are contaminated. Survivors face starvation, disease, and long-term ecological collapse. Power grids fail. Satellites are destroyed. Modern civilization begins to unravel. Governments struggle to survive. The US president boards the airborne command post, the Doomsday plane, and begins coordinating military and humanitarian response efforts. But communication is patchy. Many bases are gone. Infrastructure is in ruins. Emergency broadcasts warn survivors to shelter underground, avoid fallout zones, and conserve supplies. Hospitals are overwhelmed. First responders are lost. Cities become ghost towns filled with ash, silence, and memories. The war escalates even further. Russia, realizing its command structure is collapsing, activates the dead hand system, an automatic retaliation protocol. Even if Russian leadership is wiped out, nuclear forces launch independently. The final volley of warheads screams into space. The United States counters with everything it has left. Anti-missile defense systems attempt to intercept, but they're overwhelmed. Too many missiles. Too fast. The last major targets are hit. The planet is changed forever. Nuclear winter begins. Ash and soot rise into the upper atmosphere, blocking sunlight. Temperatures drop. Global agriculture collapses. Billions are at risk of starvation. Countries untouched by the direct attacks suffer from food shortages, economic collapse, and societal unrest. In the aftermath, scattered pockets of humanity remain. Deep underground bunkers, remote islands, and some submarine crews survive. But their future is bleak. With communications cut, supply chains gone, and the climate in freefall, the world enters a new dark age. And all of it, every horrifying moment, was triggered by a single warhead, a single decision, a single act of desperation.